I'm a
You are to me like a social media I don't even know the word, but you're on it every day.
Sure, sure.
I personally after I left St. Andrews, I was so everything I did for 10 years was social media campaigns, promoting bands and
Sure.
record releases and
Sure.
events and all this stuff. And when I left that and was I'm getting out of the music business, I don't want to do this anymore.
Right.
So I've been on a 7-8 year break
Good for
from
you.
social media.
Good
where
for
the
you.
only stuff I post is my little daughter and
Good for
for
you.
grandma and stuff. Put the occasional grandma
Sure.
stuff up
Sure.
and
Sure.
my daughter's stuff on there. But lately, especially with I've been doing Model Citizen for 3 years now, and I've had a couple false starts where I'm just I'm not it's hard for me to keep a consistent social media presence. And then I launched this Creature Comforts,
Sure.
and I'm I gotta start doing social media. I need to start putting myself out there.
Definitely.
I need to get back in this. And it's been a process of kind of switching my perspective, changing my attitude a little bit, and being look, this is my thing. This is what I've always wanted to do.
Sure.
So I need to look at it in a way that's not oh, this is work, and I don't want to fucking do it.
Sure.
It sucks, and I don't care about any. It's I don't I'm not looking for the likes. I'm not I don't feel the need to be this is what I'm doing right now.
No,
this
indeed.
is what I'm doing later.
Indeed.
This is where I'm at right now.
Excuse me.
But
Yes.
the reason I'm bringing it all up is because for me, I see people like you, and you're on your stories every day, and you're just kind of stream of consciousness, stream of thought.
I'm about to say it's turned into something else over time.
But I love it, and that's something you. Another way that you've kind of inspired me to be oh, that actually looks kind of fun, and it looks and feels kind of therapeutic.
It can be,
and because it's
sure.
I'm I'm by myself a lot, working by myself, and
Sure.
it's you're just caught up in your own thoughts and whatever's going on, and I just keep that shit all bottled up. Where I'm I should just get on my stories and just start being yo, this is what's on my mind. This shit's driving me nuts.
That shit is funny.
I see it, one of them that I watched of you, and that I loved, and it was that's hilarious. I love that was you get on, you're I don't be trusting motherfuckers who don't talk to themselves.
True.
and
true.
And I'm
Sure.
I see you. I talk to myself all the time.
Of course.
And I don't trust those people either.
For sure. No, for sure.
So,
no, exactly. No.
So so to hear you say that though is because to me I see you on every day, and I'm I gotta get more in the spirit of doing it, but doing it for reasons that I care about, and really not. I think the switch is going on and doing it and just not giving a fuck about who's watching it or what they think about what you're saying. You're
Very
just being your real, authentic self, and doing your thing, and that's
Sure.
So anyway,
it's kind of coincided with the art. That's the reason why I got on social media. And at that time, that was just Facebook. You know what I mean?
Right.
Obviously, Instagram wasn't popping like how it is now, and all that other shit that's popping off, whatever. But definitely, I've always kind of been a rebellious kid and a rebellious person. I've always had that. And so I don't care what people think. I really don't. I mean, that's a whole different story. But I don't really give a fuck what people think, because what difference does it make? They don't pay no bills around here, so what the fuck difference does it make? So and then as I would the art, because the art has its ebb and flow, it would turn into me just talking shit, and then that's what my stories would just be my thoughts, and just be you hadn't seen nothing I painted, because I hadn't painted nothing in a while, and I'm just up there talking shit about the system, or things that I view, or how I view people. And consider myself a social introvert. I can work the room, shake hands, kiss babies, or I can sit in the fucking corner and just be left alone, and I'm fine. I'm not mad. I'm not nothing. Just leave me the fuck alone. I like my alone time. I don't like being around. I get outside and I go somewhere and I'm like, why the fuck did I come out here? I should just stayed home. You know what I mean? And so sometimes I just and sometimes the shit's I crack myself up. You know what I mean? I literally crack myself up. Like, I mean, I've watched too many movies. Like I said, I grew up on stand-up comedy.
Yep.
I can turn anything into a joke.
Sure.
You know, I'm in the barbershop and somebody says something and I just my head goes, you know, and I got buddies who we'll snowball a situation and we'll be like, and then this happens, and then this happens, and it's genuinely, you know, cracks me up. And so when I have those thoughts of things that crack me up, I'm like, there's got to be somebody out there who thinks this is funny too. You know what I mean? If there's 100 people that watch my story, there's got to be 5 of them. One of them's got to like it. You know? I mean, there's so many. I mean, to this day, I'll walk out in public in real life, and somebody will bring up my social media. You know, like, man, I just when you said that, or when you know, it's like, and it's funny. You know, like it's not what I do it for, but I appreciate that people can get something out of the shit talking that I do because it's just shit talking at the end of the day, and sometimes. I hate a motherfucker who has like the ants on their stories, just dot after dot after dot. Where it's just like I can't do that on social media. I can't just be on there all day. So I like to just put a couple stories here and there. But some of the things I put on there, it's like I want to expound. Even I thought about, you know, I did a podcast, a couple episodes, and I appreciate this right now because it's like I'll say something, but there's, you know, 1A, 1B, 1C. That there's other things that's like I'm a context player too. Everything has its context. Like there's a reason why I say certain things, and there's a reason why that comes about. And so yeah, the social media definitely thing is an outlet in a way, but it's definitely the reason. I mean, I've got a lot of opportunities from the social media with my art. You know what I mean? So it's like I definitely, as much as I don't give a shit as far as like saying whatever I want on there, it's definitely garnered me some things that I would have never had those opportunities if I didn't do that.
100%. And I think that's the thing I realized too. It's like whether you like it or not, it's like if you're not on social media doing something, then nobody knows what the fuck you're doing.
True.
Nobody cares. True. It's like it's kind of sad, but it's like you might as well not exist.
Exactly.
Like
exactly.
Like
sad,
whatever.
But I know exactly
like,
what you mean.
It's like
for sure.
So and I've had the same thing, just like kind of ramping up over the past like few weeks or so. Just like people I haven't talked to when I was back in LA or whatever, and like ages have been like, "Yo, congrats, bro! Like
for
that's
sure.
cool that you're launching a new thing."
For
and
sure.
like it's like. How you been? I've been wondering what you've been up to, and like stuff like that. And I'm like, like I didn't know people actually gave a fuck what I was up to.
No, for
honestly.
sure. No, for sure. And I mean, like it's due to my travels because you know I've traveled a lot in this country and I haven't been everywhere, but I've been enough places where you know I'll meet somebody from a hostel stay, or I'll meet somebody randomly where I was in Miami, or I was in Austin, or I was in New York, and you know, it's quickly, whether you're at the bar, some you exchange social media. I got people watching my shit who I had a 2-minute interaction with at the bar years ago. They still watch my shit. And now that I've had my roots in LA, you know, I've able to, you know, people are now seeing my shit from LA and, you know, vice versa, you know. And when I was in LA, my Detroit people were still able to see what I was doing. So it's definitely been, I mean, it has its drawbacks and that's a whole conversation, but it's, for the art and just the purpose of getting a message out there to a degree and getting my stuff out there, it's definitely helped, man. So, yeah, that's that. But even when I started to get my stuff out there publicly, it wasn't due to the social media. It was just basically just painting and then people seeing my stuff. And, you know, I think one of the first showings I had ever was in Ferndale, like 2015, 16. Okay. And yeah, it was definitely I don't even know how my art was seen, but I got contacted and was like, "Would you know, like for you to show your stuff out here?" And it was definitely and just from there, just kind of things snowballed to where you know it's that you have to put in the work. You know, it's like that opportunity meets luck saying or whatever it is. Like you know, I did a cool painting. You know, if I did a painting from 10 years ago and I just show that around and be like, check this out, you know, people are like, oh, that's really dope. You know, well, what else you got? You know, no, but this is the one, right? That's going to take me over the edge. It's like, no, it's like, you got to keep on working. Like people, as much as that painting's dope, it's like people want to see what
Yeah.
other stuff you got? And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I just think over time it just was putting myself out there via just putting in the work by word of mouth. I mean, I remember I had a friend come over one time and she saw my stuff in my house. Because I basically had a gallery in my apartment,
Yeah.
and this is when Detroit Shipping Company was just about to open.
Oh, I do remember this.
Yeah,
Yes.
and shout out my homegirl Julie, and she came over to my apartment just on some random, just came over just with a friend, and then she was just like, "Whose is this stuff?" And it was like, "This is mine," and
Yeah.
she was like, "We got to show your stuff." Like
Yeah.
I'm curating for Detroit Shipping Company.
Yeah.
Like we already got the first show, but we need another one in a couple of months and the next
Yeah.
installment, and so that's how I got that was basically just somebody coming over my house and seeing all my art on my wall and was
That's
like,
cool.
when I did it, it was just starting. I think they only
Yeah.
had the
Yeah. Yeah.
Thai place in there. I don't even think they had any other restaurant in there,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And they didn't
Yeah.
have the second bar outside. It was definitely they were in the start of their whole operation over there.
Yeah.
But then also too, when I put my paintings on the wall, it was like those walls eat up paintings, like
What
like
do you mean?
in the sense of like I thought I had a lot of work, and I was like, oh, this is cool. I got more than enough to fill up this place. And I put it on the wall and those fucking walls just ate that shit up to where it was like if they felt all small and they felt and like I'm spreading them out to try to make it look, and I'm like, oh shit, I need more paintings. And I think that's what I did. I went and I bought 4 huge canvases so I could
Yeah.
then put those in the show as
Yeah.
well. And I painted 4 big paintings in a month leading up to that. I was
Wow.
just fucking locked in, 4 hours of sleep every night, just going home from the shop and just painting and just man, just knocked out those 4 huge paintings to add to make it a bigger because I
Right.
thought I had more than enough work,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then they had so much wall space, like I mean, just a literally gallery type
Yeah.
space that they have. And it
Yeah.
was like, wow, shit, I need more work. So yeah, that was definitely a
It's
huge learning experience.
so what? So we got a few pieces back here that you've
Hmm.
done.
Hmm.
We obviously have the Cruel Heart up on the
Definitely.
website on the
Definitely.
shirt.
Yes,
We
sir.
got a couple other pieces up on the
Definitely.
website. What inspire like you have so many I feel like you have different styles,
Sure.
different, you paint real people
Yeah.
who are friends,
Hmm.
possibly have relationships with, and
Sure.
you also do kind of, obviously like some pop art stuff. You have Joker, I've seen some Bob Ross stuff.
Sure. Definitely.
What typically inspires you to paint something? Like, how do you decide what you're gonna do? Like, what's like the motivation when you're like, oh, that's it, that's the one I'm gonna do now?
Well, I think it definitely goes back to like my childhood of being exposed to all that pop culture.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I was raised on MTV when it was literally they just played music
Yo
videos.
MTV
Yeah, Yo
raps
MTV
and like,
Raps.
yep,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah, definitely Yo MTV Raps. There was no TV programming. It was literally just Michael Jackson and you know, Hall and Oates and just like all those
Yo,
videos,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Aha and all that stuff. Like Take on Me, that video. Every time that came on, I was like, that was
Oh
my
my
shit.
God.
Um, and so I, like with the movies and with the comedy and with like the TV was, really helped raise me in a way. I think that really lends its way into like subconsciously and consciously being in my head of like kind
Yeah.
of those things. I was raised
Yeah.
on Bob Ross too. I mean, I would get
Yeah,
home
yeah.
after school and turn on the TV and I would watch, they would always play 2 episodes back to back of
Right.
Joy of Painting with Bob Ross on PBS. And so like that stuff to where and then I also lean in, I also being raised in the Midwest as a Mexican, it's like there's a lot of identity issues there. You're not Mexican enough for the Mexicans and you're not American enough for the Americans. And, I experienced racism at a really young age and I didn't understand that, because I didn't understand that,
Right.
like, and
Yeah.
so it was like all these different things I can draw on. The bright colors. Sometimes I'll look at stuff in Mexico and I'll see these bright teals and these pinks and these things, and it's like I innately use those colors,
Yeah.
and I don't. It wasn't like it was like, oh man, I want to try to do this Mexico inspiration,
Sure.
or these loud kind of colors for, to purposely draw on that. It's like I just kind of within me, and I'll use these color schemes. And so I just think it's just my childhood and just what I was raised on, and just kind of reaching into that subconscious and reaching into images. I love Bob Ross, and so when let alone his philosophy when he talks while he paints, and it's like, um, I respect him. And when I started the Bob Ross series where I call Bob Paints, and he paints things that you don't see him paint. Yeah.
Not happy
Not yeah,
trees
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, things that he wouldn't paint. I don't do that out of disrespect or out of disregard for him. I do that because like I was raised on Bob, and I have a love and respect for him, but like also my own artistic take on
Sure.
that. I'm not gonna paint Bob painting a landscape. Like I'll just watch Bob paint the landscape. What the fuck do I need to paint that for? But I think I think it draws on something, because I think we blanket Bob as this happy, philosophy, happy mistakes, and it's okay, try your best type guy.
Right.
When if you see him, painting burning trees, or two women making love, or you see him painting a skull or something, it's like that's not what you're used to seeing Bob paint.
Right.
And so I want to mess with the audience, the viewer.
Do you think somewhere Bob Ross has those paintings?
Uh,
When he wasn't on camera, when he wasn't on PBS, do you think he's like painting something? Like...
Man, I don't know. I mean, seriously, probably not, because I think I read or something that the paintings that he would do on TV, that he would practice that painting a couple of times
really?
before he would get on TV to do it,
Oh,
so he can have it in a time frame. Because he had to paint these paintings like in 25 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's not like he did that for the first time. He literally would. I think he would just, man, he was such a constantly working, constantly painting. And he also taught classes.
Yeah.
And so I think that he was too wrapped up into what he was doing, and the landscape. I mean, and he like, I don't know his whole story, but I know he lived in Alaska for a long time. As far as like, that's what inspired a lot of his landscapes.
Right, yeah.
And I think he truly was such a truly gentle, genuine soul, that he found real beauty in those landscapes, in nature. You know what I mean? Like he didn't. Sometimes I'll see somebody and they're like, they got that kind of put on, they're nice, and then sometimes I'm like, oh, this motherfucker's full of shit. You know what I mean? I don't know who he's trying to fool. You don't really love animals like that. You're doing something weird behind closed doors. Where with Bob, I never got that.
Right,
Bob,
yeah.
when he pulled out a squirrel out of his pocket, it was like, man, this guy is so wholesome. What a nice fucking guy. He's really fucking feeding them a fucking bottle and shit, and really trying to release him back on them. You know what I'm saying? Like I never got nothing out of that out of Bob. Bob always seemed like a real genuine guy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That would be cool. The lost files of Bob, and he's painting, fucking crazy dark skulls and shit. That would be awesome. I'd like to own one of those.
He shows up tomorrow in the Epstein files.
That would be, man, that would break my heart, fam.
No, right?
I would say none of this is real.
Not Bob Ross.
Not Bob Ross.
Not
I would
Bob.
just close the curtains and stay in the house for forever. I wouldn't even want to come outside no more. I'd be like, none of this is real.
Yeah.
None of this is real.